Welcome everyone to another Slayer guide where I show you just the basics so you can start slaying right away. So in this episode we're going to be talking about Ripper Demons, so let's get right into it. So starting off, there's no quests, so that's great. However, there's some pretty high skill requirements with these. First of all, you do need to have 96 Slayer in order to kill a Ripper Demon, so that's fairly high, but you're also going to want to have 90 plus combat stats, 96 herb lore for overloads, and of course 95 prayer so you can use turmoil. Those are my recommendations. You can try it out if you have a little bit lower, but I highly recommend having those so that you can try to do enough DPS to drop them before they use their special attack. Now, other than that, they're located in a dark cave, which is right underneath the Abbey of St. Elspeth building, which most of you are probably going to be like, where the heck is that? Because that's what I thought. But basically, it's just south of the Carrot dig site for archaeology, and I'll show you how to get there pretty soon. Other than that, they are level 131, and they give you about 2.2k combat XP per kill and a whopping 2.7k Slayer XP per kill. So they are pretty good Slayer XP, and they're actually not that hard to kill once you learn the basics of them. So moving on to the gear and inventory, I just always tell you guys, bring the best gear you got. I mean, if you have Torva, that's great. If you have Malevolent, that's awesome, right? But just bring what you can. I recommend at least Torva or higher, but if you want to try it with lower gear, that's fine, of course. Now, I do recommend you have a defense cape, and the reason is because you'll get the effect of the Sign of Life if you do. So in case you die, you'll have that quick resurrection, at least one time per 3 hours. So I recommend having that. However, of course, a max cape or any other good cape would also work. I recommend using a dual wield weapon here and not something like the scythe, and that's because you do not want to use any AoE attacks. No attacks that do area of effect damage, because you do not want to hit another Ripper Demon and have 2 or 3 on you at the same time. Other than that, of course, I bring a Slayer helm if I'm on task, and my trusty Luck of the Dwarves ring. And like I said, you guys can change this up as you see fit. This is just what I've been using to test this out. So the inventory is pretty simple, actually. It's just, I bring one overload, and I usually bring holy overloads. If you don't have those, just bring the highest type combat potion you can and a prayer renewal. And I bring 4 prayer flasks with me and lots of food. I usually don't stay for more than about like 30 minutes, so having that set up is perfect for me. And other than that, the recommended gear and items, I do recommend that you have the Vampirism aura. Like I always tell you guys, that's my go-to aura. I just love the fact that I can have its healing ability, especially since in this situation, we're going to be using Deflect Melee and not Soul Split, so it's nice to have that extra healing ability. What else is useful as well, especially if you don't have a defense cape, is having either the Sign of Life or the Portent of Life. Having one of those and having a Sign of Item Protection. Now the best thing to do is, if you don't have a defense cape, put the Portent of Life in your inventory and equip the Sign of Item Protection, and that way if you do die, you'll be paying less to death to get all your gear back, and you'll also have the ability to be resurrected one time in case you make a mistake. So other than that, I want to give you some basics on their special attacks. So you do not want your health to go below 35%. I recommend trying your best to keep it around 50% or higher. If you get below 35%, basically what's going to happen is any other Ripper Demons that are right there by you, they're all of a sudden going to become aggressive and start attacking you, and it's pretty much going to force you to leave the cave or teleport out, something like that, because you do not want multiple Ripper Demons on you. You're going to be in big trouble if that's the case. The other thing is, every single time you kill a Ripper Demon, they do this thing I call the Death Tornado, which is where they pull out their claws and they just spin around in like a tornado-like motion for a few seconds. So you need to make sure you get at least 2 squares away from them, because it can do a decent amount of damage. So if you're already a little bit low health, it's probably going to put you underneath that 35% like I was telling you about, and then all the other Ripper Demons will come after you. So make sure that after you kill them, you walk away, let them do their Death Tornado, then pick up the loot that they dropped. Now, the most important thing, the absolute most important thing here, okay, is that they have an adrenaline bar. It's this yellow adrenaline bar, just like the adrenaline bar you have, and as you start killing them, that adrenaline bar for the Ripper Demon is going to increase. When it gets to the very top, you'll see it all of a sudden fade out to gray, and they're going to jump straight up in the air and they're going to disappear. When they do that, there'll be a little shadow on the ground that's moving around. You do not want to be under that shadow or within basically 1 square of that shadow, because you'll take a ton of damage. In fact, if they do come down and hit you, it'll kill you in one hit, because it does like 32k damage in one shot. So This is why most people have trouble with Ripper Demons, because they can kill you in one hit. So I will show you what I do in order to avoid that. But basically, make sure you're paying attention to that adrenaline bar the whole time. That's the most important thing to pay attention to, aside from, of course, your health. So with that being said, let's go ahead and I will show you how to get there and start fighting them. Okay, so now that I've showed you all the information about the Ripper Demons, let me show you how I get there. So like I said, having this little archaeology journal is very helpful. So you just use that and teleport, and you're going to go right to the archaeology area, the main little spot where you did the tutorial and where you turn in a lot of your sets to the museum lady right here. Now once you get here, I don't know why my screen took forever to load, but anyway, you want to walk inside this building, and what you want to do is view the dig site map, and you want to head right here to Carrot Et. So you should have been there before. I'm sure all of you have. You definitely would have been there if you got this journal, because I'm sure you've explored around a little bit. So once you get here, you just run straight south. That's one thing that I like about archaeology, is with this little journal here, being able to teleport basically right to the Ripper Demons. But anyway, you run south and you'll see these stairs right here. Go ahead and click on them to climb down. And right here in this dark tunnel is where the Ripper Demons are located. So go ahead and pot up really quick. Make sure your prayer is good. Again, remember that you're going to be using Deflect Melee as well as Turmoil. And remember, you wanted just the Dragors. You did not, I guess you could bring any other kind of weapon, but I would just prefer using anything that's not going to have huge area of effect. So anyway, go ahead and enter the tunnel and click on the first one to start fighting him. Now, as soon as I start fighting him, you'll know I have my information about the creature unlocked, and it's moved over here just to get it a little bit out of the way, like I was telling you about. Then I right click in the distance and I highlight over where it says walk here. That way, as soon as I see that he jumps up in the air, I don't even think about it. I just click, and I know I'm going to walk far enough away, just like this. He comes back down, I'm out of the way, and now I go back to fighting him. And I'll move it over here again just in case, and I pay attention, and as soon as I kill him, you want to walk away, and walk a good distance away. His attack can actually hit you from pretty far away. And then I'll usually hit freedom just to kind of stall my adrenaline temporarily. And I'll pick that up in a minute, and I'll go and attack another one. And like I said, the biggest, one of the other big things, I guess, in here anyway, is make sure your health doesn't drop below about 35%. So if you see that starting to happen, make sure you eat. It's better to overeat here, in my opinion, than not, because if you get all the Ripper Demons on you, you're in for a world of hurt. So again, I just click. I don't even have to worry about that. I go right back to him, and we're going to be fighting him again, finishing him off. And so doing that method really does help out a lot, just because if you're not paying attention, or you all of a sudden have to quickly click, you have the chance to click on another Ripper Demon, and that's definitely not what you want to do. So again, we'll start the fight, and the whole time I'm fighting, I'm basically keeping an eye on the Ripper Demon's adrenaline bar, because as soon as his yellow bar gets to the top, I know he's going to jump. And I'll click over here as soon as I see his disappear, which I did. And then I come back, and if you ever are confused which Ripper Demon you were fighting or anything like that, just err on the side of caution. Wait for him to come and attack you, because ultimately he's going to do that. And you can go ahead and just finish the fight. And if you have a Slayer task assigned to you for these guys, you'll do a lot more damage. I mean, a ton more damage. In fact, most of the time when I'm on a Slayer assignment for the Ripper Demons, I usually can kill them before they'll even get off their big special attack here. So kind of keep that in mind. But just hit them with a couple thresholds the best you can. And again, every once in a while I'll hit Devotion, because it's very helpful to be able to use that and not have to worry about taking any damage whatsoever from their melee attacks, which is great. Especially it's useful if you have a couple of them that hit you at once and you're trying to get out of the cave. So like right here, I'm going to start off by attacking him, hit Devotion right away, and then we're going to start going into our thresholds. And I've got 10 seconds to where my melee protection prayer is active and going to block 100% of the melee damage. So it's very useful to have that. So if you don't have that prayer, look it up and make sure you go ahead and get that, because it's extremely useful. So again, I just click away, And like I said, you want to click far enough away too. I mean, I know it might seem like I'm, clicking pretty far away, but the thing is, he can actually do a lot of damage to you, even if he doesn't fall right on top of you. You'll still take a ton of damage. So it's just best, in my opinion, to err on the side of caution. And if you're new at doing it, I feel like this method is really going to help you get in here, get a few kills down, kind of get like a rhythm going, Didn't look like he had anything too good to drop there, huh? So let's see. I'm really trying to collect one of their souls, so hopefully I can get one sometime soon and fight him in my own personal Slayer dungeon. That'd be awesome. But again, just to kind of walk through it one more time, like I said, keep an eye on their adrenaline bar. Make sure you right-click and hover over where it says walk here just to make sure you're safe. And as soon as you see that adrenaline bar disappear, you click to get out of the way and then go back to fighting him. And like I said, if you do that every time, you should take him out no problem. The other mechanics, again, I'm just doing it to reiterate because I know these guys can be a little tricky. Once they die, they will just do this insane, crazy tornado death spin. So make sure you are a few spaces away, because if you are not, that can do some significant damage as well. And the last thing is, you'll notice I'm trying to keep my health up, at least 50% usually. You don't really want it to go below 50 because it's very easy to all of a sudden take a hit, then you fall into the whole 35% or below health. And once you do that, multiple Ripper demons are going to be on you, and you're in trouble. So if that does happen, your two options are basically teleport out really quick if you're nervous for any reason, or run out of the cave really quick. It's just going to come from experience, I think, and you just getting in here and getting a few kills. Other than that, though, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. Like I said, once you understand how to avoid their special attack that can kill you in one hit, I feel like they're not too bad, to be completely honest with you. And if you just follow this simple method right here like I'm doing, there should be no reason at all that you die. So I really, really hope this guide helped you guys. I hope you can go out there and get yourself some kills. And good luck, and we'll talk to you next time.